Welcome back, another episode. When the first responders said not one but two poignant farewells, this became the main topic of discussion in Chicago Fire 12, Episode 8. In Season 12, the show keeps experimenting with the intriguing question of whether a candidate is Firehouse 51 material. How come, though, and who abandoned the Firehouse? Seeing the Chicago Fire Dynamite crew handle the most recent situation was an emotional experience. The most recent Chicago Fire had two unexpected exits, a welcome one and a bittersweet one. Derrick Gibson decided to take a leave of absence to deal with his chronic mental health concerns, just as he was getting used to Firehouse 51. While fans were sorry to see Gibson go, they cannot feel the same way about the other 51, Wesam Keesh's loathed paramedic, Jared Lennox. From the beginning, it was clear that Lennox was not a suitable fit for Firehouse 51. He got along poorly with newly appointed paramedic in charge Violet McCamey right away, challenging her authority and disputing her directives on multiple occasions throughout his first day. Worse, he lodged a formal complaint with the CFD regarding Firehouse 51's disregard for protocol, a procedure that is almost exclusively saved for dire situations involving the safety of civilians. Lennox was enraged by 51's disregard for protocol, even if he didn't realize it was essential to the station's success. Lennox was blind to the fact that 51's capacity to recognize when and how to become adaptable in times of distress has saved innumerable lives. Lennox filed a complaint against numerous station employees, so it was a difficult return to 51 for him. The firefighters couldn't relate to the man who joined their ranks with nefarious intentions when they weren't made to avoid him out of concern for another grievance. To be honest, 51 doesn't think well of a leaker. After Violet was just promoted to pick, she found it very difficult to collaborate with Lennox. Lennox clarified that although he is aware that following the book won't make him popular, he is proud of his sincere job. Violet dismissed him, but Lennox swallowed those comments after receiving a frantic call from a paramedic. A man in dire need of a hospital was waiting for Violet and Lennox when they arrived at a biker bar. When Lennox tried to treat the biker by cutting his leather jacket, the biker scolded him and threatened to kill him. Always one to think outside the box, Violet found a way to save the jacket. Lennox was too scared to ride in the back with the biker as required by protocol as they loaded the patient into the ambulance. Violet was asked to make an exception for the cowardly Lennox so he could drive. Lennox responded, "Well, yeah, but for good reason," drawing a sour glance from Violet. "You understand what I mean. Please understand that it is only temporary." Violet stated clearly, "I'm not going to force you to ride in the back if you're scared, because your safety and our victim's safety are more important to me than protocol." Lennox understood, putting his tail between his knees and taking the keys. By the end of the episode, Chief Wallace Bowden had put an end to Lennox, putting him back in the CFD floater pool due to tensions at work and his harsh indoctrination into 51. Gibson admitted to Sam Carver that he had a nervous breakdown and ended up in a psychiatric hospital because he was unable to deal with the loss of his boxing career. In order to put some space between himself and his inner demons, he eventually became a firefighter, but as we saw in All the Dark, this didn't stop the difficulties from getting worse. After Gibson returned to work after a few days off, Carver decided to check up on his new friend. Claimantly citing the flu pandemic, Gibson sidestepped his inquiry, but Carver quickly noticed that Gibson was acting strangely. Later, Gibson became agitated and irritated, yelling at Lennox to call him a fool in front of the entire station. Carver knew exactly what was wrong with Gibson when his actions turned from concerning to plain suspicious. He was misusing prescription medicines. Confronting Gibson, Carver informed him that he was aware of his prescription drug abuse and emphasized that he was not the only one struggling with issues. Carver ordered him to get up off the ground and gather his thoughts. Gibson took it hard after Carver left, hurting himself by banging his fist into a locker. Gibson was thrust into the depths of a panic attack by the altercation. Stella Kidd, following a trail of blood to the bathroom, discovered her Truck 81 recruit attempting to steady himself. Gibson stumbled to say anything when Stella inquired whether he was okay. Gibson replied, "I thought I pulled it together," but he quickly added, "I need to leave." "I had to leave." Stella was sorry to see one of her truck's members go, but Gibson seems to have needed the wake-up call. For more videos, subscribe.